Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's Cooper here, one half of FCSN, and today I want to bring you guys my final evaluations of the two top quarterbacks in this draft, that being Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. This isn't going to be a versus type of thing like we did in the past. It's just more like a final evaluation, what you're getting from both guys. And these guys are definitely the top two quarterbacks. That's not the debate here. This is just kind of breaking down what they both bring to the table. Because this quarterback class, to be honest, me and Forrest were talking about it the other day. It's generally a weak class. Maybe some of these guys like a Brett Hundley have some potential if they sit behind somebody and really polish up their game and learn the ropes. But overall, you're only really getting two franchise quarterbacks straight off the bat, and that is Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump down into my breakdowns of both prospects and my final evaluations of them heading into the draft. Starting things off with Marcus Mariota. I'm going to go ahead and start with his combine because we haven't made the video we made earlier on the verses was right before the combine, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and go combine, pro day, and then just look at all the tape we've seen. So with Mariota, at the combine, ran a great 40. I think that helped his case. I don't think 40s are always important for quarterbacks, but in his case, if you're able to show you're overly athletic and you ran a good 40 as a quarterback, that can boost your stock. I think that reaffirmed that we know that he's an athletic guy. He looked average with some of the throws he makes. I understand that he's coming from a spread offense that was up-tempo. He made a lot of easy throws. People who are really big on Mariota say, oh, look at his interception numbers. In my opinion, when you don't make a lot of hard throws, you're not going to throw a lot of picks. Yeah, he's a smart guy, but he's not making as many high-risk throws as some of these other prospects. But he did look he looked like he was starting to get it a little bit. There were some times he missed, but overall, he looked pretty solid throwing at the combine. Not going to blow you away, but he looked good. Like I said, as an athlete, overall pretty solid. Then moving on to his pro day, I watched a little bit of it. I was very, very impressed. It was very encouraging to see. I was honestly surprised overall for what I saw from Marcus Mariota. His 5-step drops, his 3-step drops, all looked good. I mean, he looked like he was starting to get it. You could tell he's been putting the work into his footwork, which is very important. That's going to be key for him. Definitely getting under center and being able to drop back and make the reads, because at Oregon as well, not only did he not drop back, he didn't make necessarily a lot of progressions that an NFL quarterback would need to make. He would go like that hurry up offense, you have a guy on the check down, he would make that read option and look downfield. He really wasn't making a whole lot of reads, and you could definitely tell he's getting more comfortable with what he has to do, which is encouraging signs. So I think Marcus Mariota, since the NFL Combine, has definitely boosted his draft stock. With that said, we've got Jameis Winston. This is a guy that I think has just reaffirmed it. In my view, he's the number one quarterback in the class, and that's what people are generally all saying at this point in time. At the Combine, he didn't run a good 40. But like I said, I don't think a 40 helps you or hurts you unless it's really bad or it's really good. His wasn't great. It was a little bit disappointing to see him do that. But overall, it's something you shouldn't be concerned about too much. Like, look at Peyton Manning, look at Tom Brady. Like, they're not going to run. I don't think he's that type of guy, and people shouldn't try to say he's a mobile quarterback. He really isn't. He had a couple good runs at Florida State that people knew him for, but he really didn't run the ball that much. Throwing the ball at the combine, he knocked it out of the park. He was hitting everything. He just looked sharp. He looked confident. He was making all his throws. I actually don't think he threw an incomplete pass when he threw, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But overall, I think Jameis Winston killed the combine. And that's when we started to see a little bit of separation with Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. They said, okay, this guy is for real. He's a real-time big quarterback. He can go out there and gunsling it. That's the guy we went on our franchise. Then going on and on and on, people started reviewing it a little bit more. Marcus Mariota had his pro day first. I think he cut that gap a little bit. And then Jameis had his pro day a couple days ago. It was this week. And he looked pretty good. It wasn't the same as what he did at the combine. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this guy is just going to be a beast. But overall, it was really solid. It was really good. It wasn't outstanding. He made a couple really, really good throws on the run. Throwing it deep. I know people are going to call him out for that one that went out of bounds. But every quarterback lets a throw get away from him every once in a while. But overall, it was a good pro day. He didn't hurt himself with it. I don't think he overly helped himself. I just think he kind of reaffirmed his status as the number one quarterback in the class. Now, breaking down, I will go a little bit into verses, like who I would take at number 1. Right now, I would take Jameis Winston just because of the fact that he knows that pro-style offense like the back of his hand. He's been doing it at Florida State. He's got a cannon of an arm. Yes, maybe he has a little bit too confidence. I see people make that point that say, oh, he's too confident in his arms and that leads to interceptions. That's something he can work on, but I can see what you're talking about when you say that. Another point that I saw was that his confidence. Jameis Winston has an extreme confidence about him. This could either be a really good thing or a really bad thing. You see, he's always getting guys up. He's always saying, like, oh, I'm the best player in the draft. Like, what you like to see, if that's your quarterback, if it's not your quarterback, you hate it. But if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you got your guys saying that, you're going to love them. You just like to have that kind of confidence from your team leader. Now, if things don't go well for Jameis Winston, because things at Florida State always went well, except for that one Oregon game toward the end of the second half of that game. Everything went well. He had always had that confidence. He was always able to go out in the field and make it happen. Now, when you're the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, you're going to the worst team. I mean, not necessarily the worst overall team, but you're going to one of the worst teams, I'll say. So it's not going to happen right away. How is he able to, let's say Jameis has a bad game, he throws 3-4 picks, no touchdowns, or maybe under 50% completion. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but if he does, how is he going to react to that? How is his ego going to take it? I don't think Jameis Winston's off the field stuff would be too more of an issue, more overall than his general attitude. I think that is going to be the concern, because with the off the field stuff, it's not like he's one of these people that you see have these huge issues, like they're addicted to something, they're in rehab or something like that. It's just more like immature stuff that I think he'll eventually get over. Now, if we see it right away, possibly. I'm not gonna say he's gonna go do this, do that, but I think over time it will never be an issue with him. Don't quote me on that though, because you never know what could happen. Marcus Mariota. Like I said, he has just done nothing but boost his draft stock, in my opinion, since the season ended. Because if you were to ask me like who I would take right after the season ended, I would tell you no doubt Jameis Winston. Marcus Mariota can't make pro throws, etc., etc. He's starting to get it. I tell you what, he's starting to get it, and I'm starting to like him going to Tennessee more and more, and just saying that they may take him. Now, I think Leonard Williams is maybe the best player in this draft. It'd be tough for Tennessee Titans to pass on him, but if they want a quarterback, I think you might be getting a pretty darn good one in Marcus Mariota. I'm not going to call him a bust anymore. At first, I was saying maybe bust, but I don't see that anymore. He's starting to really just get better. And I really like the improvements that we're seeing overall from him, and it's really promising to see. But overall, that's all I got for you guys on the evaluation of these two. Go ahead and leave your favorite quarterback or who you like more on your team between these guys in the comment section below. Keep in mind, guys, this was a big problem with the last one. Just because, let's say you're a guy who likes Marcus Mariota, that doesn't mean you have to say, oh, Jameis Winston sucks, I want Marcus Mariota. Or I like Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota sucks, I don't want him. Like, I think they're both good guys, and that was the point of my video, was to just tell you what they both have. I think people devalue the other one way too much when they say one guy is better than the other. With that said, though, that's all I got for you guys. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more content like this. We'll be pumping out so much NFL draft coverage coming up, as well as like fantasy football for Forrest. He's been killing that. And we have some team predictions and previews, and just predictions and reward races coming up for the season. A lot of off-season coverage for you guys. Hope you guys are as excited for it as we are. I love this time of the year for football. I miss football overall, but it gets a lot to talk about. All our social media links are down in the description below. Hope you'll have a good day. And this is Cooper signing out.